of the week? That's what I want to know. Because if you're complaining about white men writing everything, and then your team is like 89% white men, who cares? It's the same thing. At that point, is it about who's writing it or how they write it, from which lens they write it, from which narrative they are trying to
Portrayed.
craft?
Knowledge, when we talk about knowledge for the whole world, it needs to be reflective of the whole world. And so one of the first things we do is we measure the gaps. Who is missing on Wikipedia? Women are
The
missing,
truth.
people of color are missing, people from
The
the global
truth.
south
The
are
truth.
missing,
That was
indigenous
missing in
communities are
Wikipedia.
missing,
The truth.
the history of Black Americans is missing from Wikipedia. Then we think about who's doing this work today and how can we support them. And it's not just about, say, throwing money at the problem. It's also about going directly to these communities and saying, what do we need to change about ourselves? What about the experience of editing
Need to
Wikipedia? What
start
about
telling
the
the truth.
culture
That
of
makes
Wikipedia? What
sense.
about the
That'll
policies
be a
of
big
Wikipedia
change.
need to change? Because in reality, the beautiful thing about Wikipedia is it is changeable all the time. It's edited 350 times a minute. So if we want to change it, that's fully within our power. So yes, we are
Who is we?
reversed with a record
Who is
that is
we?
hugely biased throughout history. But the power to change that agency lies with every single one of us who contribute to it. Back to the
All right, there we go. So that's again Catherine Marr from when she was over at Wikipedia. After Wikipedia, she went to NPR, which is where she is right now. I think she went to NPR last year, 2024. Okay, now here is a piece of the oversight hearing. It was kind of like long, 2.5, 3 hours. I'll link to whatever I can find in the box. Let's watch this. Then we got another one after this.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You tweeted that in reference to a book you were reading at the time, apparently, The Case for Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
Let's pause. Now, she's good at what she's doing, but I can see right through it. He's asking her about the quote on Twitter, now X, and she says, well, I don't believe that. Did you write it, though? I didn't ask you if you believed it. Did you write it? Is that what you said back in 2020? Like, what, 4 or 5 years ago? Did you write it? And then she said, well, I don't know about that book. Maybe she did not read the book title that, but maybe she read someone's case for reparations. See what I'm saying? So she knows what he's meaning, but she's answering the questions in the way to hide the truth.
Tweeted about it. Said he took a day off to fully read The Case for Reparations. Put that on Twitter.
That could have been the book, or it could have been somebody's tweets that has the title.
January 2020.
Apologies, I don't recall that I did.
Do you believe that white people inherently feel superior to other races?
I do not.
You don't. You tweeted something to that effect. You said, I grew up feeling superior. How white of me. Why did you tweet that?
I think I was probably reflecting on what it was to grow up in an environment where I had lots of advantages.
Do you think that?
So you do believe that whites are superior, or maybe you thought that you were better because you're white? I mean, basically, again, you're kind of confirming what he's saying.
The white people should pay reparations?
I've never said that, sir.
Yes, you did. Said it in January 2020. You tweeted, yes, the North, yes, all of us, yes, America, yes, our original collective sin and unpaid debt, yes, reparations, yes, on this day.
I don't believe that was a reference to fiscal reparations, sir.
What kind of reparations was it a reference to?
I think it was just a reference to the idea that we all owe much to the people who came before us.
Another one of those answers, fishy, not really getting down to the bottom of the actual issue. And of course, she knows exactly what he's saying. She wrote the tweets. She knows that he knows what she meant by the tweets. But this right here is just what political type people do. Okay? I'll link to this video in the box, but we gotta go through a little bit more. This is gonna be James Comer.
And I don't even recognize the station. It's not new. I feel like it's propaganda. I feel like there's disinformation every time I listen to NPR. And, a media entity like MSNBC or Huffington Post that, in my opinion, consistently spews disinformation, they can do that. They're a private company. but NPR gets federal funds. And you know, I have a problem with that. Because if people in Alaska, if all they have is public radio, then all they know is what these headlines say. And they're wrong about COVID-19. And the headlines in the background don't have time to go over all these headlines that are wrong. About Russian collusion, wrong. Wrong. About the Hunter Biden laptop, wrong. And then there's a story about me. And part of what we went through in this committee during the Biden investigation, which, by the way, ended with Joe Biden's last act as President of the United States, pardoned his entire family preemptively for an 11-year period, which just so happened to be the 11-year period that this committee investigated the Biden, that we had subpoenaed bankruptcy. I don't think NPR reported about the pardons, but they reported a lot about how there was no evidence of any wrongdoing, things that just weren't true. In fact, there's a story, NPR, lawmaker leading Hunter Biden House investigation, accused of owning a shell company. Well, that's me. Miss Farrah, are you familiar with that story that NPR wrote about me at the height of the Biden investigation when you all were disputing?
Before he continues, a lot of your mainstream media, NPR included, have been weaponized against the American people. Weaponized against the American people, weaponized against any kind of conservative, anybody on the right, anybody that's not going with the Democratic Party agenda. You are the enemy of the state, basically. So David's coming wrapped up in that. All of us wrapped up in it as conservative people in my opinion. But let's continue.
Every aspect of our investigation that is 100% factual, we have hundreds of pages of evidence, hundreds of pages of bank records, hundreds of pages of emails. Do you remember the story that NPR wrote about me saying I have a shell company?
Congressman, I was not at NPR at the time, and I'm unfamiliar with the
Where
story.
do you get your sources on something like that? That's a very serious accusation because we're investigating a president and his family who had 28 shell companies. I have an LLC, had 5 properties in it. It's in my financial disclosure report. I've gone into great detail, given lots of interviews, but people that listen to NPR, they're totally disinformed.
Cross game. Now, it doesn't matter that the story about the shell company and kind of laptop before she became the CEO. The reality is that NPR has been the same with her and before her. It's a left step. So why are we paying federal monies if you know exactly what you're going to do? You know the kind of stories you're going to put out there. You know you're not really trying to turn over a new leaf. It's going to be the same old left-wing propaganda. Why would we give you any federal funding for that? If you want to be a left-wing rag, do that on your own dime.
On the truth. And you know, I have a problem with that because you get federal funds. And I do believe there was a role for public radio 30 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. But because of technology today, I don't think there's a role for public radio anymore. And I think you've abused the privilege that you had with receiving federal funds. Because these headlines here are not true. This is disinformation. It's a huge topic. Do you want to dispute anything that I said in the remaining 30 seconds?
Thank you, Congressman. First of all, I want to recognize your concerns. One of the first things that I did in coming in May was...
There's more like we just going to end right there. So I'll link to this in the box. I'll link to the full thing. I can find it in the box. But again, that is the NPR CEO, Catherine Potter. No relation to Bill Maher. But as I close, I'm going to say this. I don't think NPR needs any federal funding. They say, according to NPR themselves, put the article up and y'all put it in the box. We only get about 1% or less of our money from the federal government. Okay, then just don't take that money. And you'll continue on just fine, right?
Yo, what you need?
99% of you.
Yeah, player. We'll get it to you.
So survive on that, or if you're going to take our money, taxpayer money, be more neutral. Don't just say everything's left. You're giving a false impression of what the truth is. Call it more in the center. If you're going to report on bad things about the right, same thing about the left. And be more neutral, the way that Associated Press and Reuters used to be. All those rags have become left-wing rags because they think they're in a fight against the right. They've been indoctrinated in K through 12 in college to engage in a civil war of sorts against us. And if they're going to do that, why would we pay them to do that? It doesn't make any sense. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And let's say what's your or let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I support NPR's right to freedom of speech, but I don't think that we should be funding them if they're going to do stuff like this. Why would they get federal monies while hurting the people? Like, you're putting out this information, all it right in the center, with no affiliation to the left or the right, just right in the middle, no bias. Do that if you're going to get taxpayer money. You're paying you for a public service, not to push propaganda. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I gotta say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Safely. Play. Video clip. For a larger view, press the cross button. For the next video, press the R1 button. Info seconds. Player controls. To move, press the up and down button. Video clip. Share. Share selected. Gcat. Reload. Play. Recently created selected. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, Lord!
It could be short nearly $1 billion. We just learned that's a shortfall Mayor Brandon Johnson is projecting for the 2025 budget. And that means the city will need to make some tough financial decisions. A nearly $1 billion shortfall. That's what the city of Chicago is facing for their 2025 budget. Mayor Brandon Johnson saying turning to this, yesterday in Deep Red, Texas, Democrats attempted to reach across the aisle in a town hall. The headliners included failed Senate candidates, a failed gubernatorial candidate, and a failed presidential candidate. That was Beto O'Rourke. And by his side was failed vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, who gave this take for why
Okay, here are your coordinates. Agent Johnson is our principal undercover asset in the Duggan organization. Her disappearance is a major threat to our investigation. I need you to track her down. She keeps a garage across town. Let's start there.
You lazy piece of shit.
You're not a sex in this class because you weren't brave enough to stand up and say you didn't like the power of these policies.
We got in this mess. We did not do this. Well, weren't you part of the we? It was you, and it was Kamala Harris. You guys were the we. Well, if that wasn't bad enough, Walt sent this message to young voters.
And the other young thing is that I asked for a moment and look around, right, and look at, I'm especially talking about these old white guys who seem to discipline us on a regular basis in this country.
Okay, Marie, so we weren't bold enough. We weren't proud of these policies. We didn't explain woke. We didn't explain immigration.
Are you
Okay,
there?
well, let's pull this up.
Have
This
a
is
look
the news.
around. Anything that might tell us what happened to her?
They, them is who Walt and Kamala are for. They are not for you. Well, that is
Bingo!
rating
See if you can find her.
shifted the polls 2.7 percentage points toward Trump. You look at the poll on immigration yesterday conducted by Pew, and what you find are 83% of Americans are for all illegal immigrants being deported or some.
Alright guys, so let's get, we gotta talk about the party of weirdos and freaks. Low testosterone men and other women. Because Tim Walz is on the road. He's taking a freak show on the road to Texas to talk about how Democrats should be more woke, right? That is what Tim Walz said with Beto O'Rourke. He claimed that the problem they were too far left. No, they weren't far left enough. They should double and triple down on what lost them the election, right? Let's double and triple down on DEI, or racial division, on spreading racial hatred towards whites. No, we need double and triple down on that because all the white guys disappoint us, right? According to Tim Walz. Okay, so that's the type of white people. And then turn around and complain to black people don't vote for them, right? Again, that's okay, they say, you know, the one demographic in this country, and they complain when they don't vote, right? It's funny how that works, okay? This guy says they're going to double triple down and vote for it. Right now, there's no mind in Kamala Harris' immigration policy. Just let everybody in, right? All you have to just come to the border and say, yo, take one for a minute. Right? That's all you have to say. Okay? And they just let you right on in. Okay? That's what they did. And Tim Walz said,
As of now, Agent Johnson's
even though
recovery is considered a priority subtask in this operation. The standard remuneration package applies.
doing when it comes to the mass deportation. So again, this is getting on the 20 side of 80-20 issues instead. Yeah, we need to double down on that. And this is why I think that this guy is starting to become a worse politician on the national stage. A worse politician than Tim Walz. They continuously put his mouth over and over and over and over again. I think he just did it again. And so, hey, this is what Democrats want to do. This is who they want to lead them. No comments, right? I didn't want to talk about a moment here. It was Tim Walz should have been something that the liberals and Democrats would be demanding Republicans to if the Republican was confronted with questions about the 2020 election. But in this case, this liberal woman, the race liberal woman, is going to confront Tim Walz about the 2024 election, in which she's basically going to claim that the 2024 election was rigged. Okay, this is what she's going to claim. Okay, and Tim Walz refused to condemn her for questioning the
You can't see
outcome
my
of the
agent there?
2024
Move on.
election.
We don't have time to waste.
and that means the lab has to be able to have a brain. I understand everything experts, but then show some kind of convincing evidence, and I'm actually wondering, the biggest fear of the students in this case, so what do we
Any visual on Johnson? Keep checking our recent locations.
I'm going to go back to this again about that. I think the Democrats have gotten wrong when they have power. I think we've been women. I think we tried to cut real quick. In 2008, we were at 75%.
I almost crapped my thong.
Like we see now. We have the House, we have the Senate. The Republicans didn't have any charismatic leader to push back. We had John Boehner and Mitch McConnell. And they stopped everything. And they slammed everything down. And they made it different. And so I think there's a lot of Democrats that said, well, we get power, but everybody was better. So I thought we had an opportunity to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act when we had that consent and we didn't do it, which we should have done.
What's going on, y'all? In this video, I'm going to show you how, as an agency owner, you can use list data to get lists of leads that are looking for your agency.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so you see that here now. That liberal woman, clearly going full in. Okay, she is referring to the election equalizer and the analysis done by the executive director of that group, Nathan Taylor, who basically claimed that there is evidence out in the bottom that balance was shifted to the limit on the agency of 40% of the vote and to 60% of the vote, and that they're calling for an independent audit of the election on all the blue states because they believe that essentially there was a...
Thank God. Did Bernard send you?
She just called me.
This is
disciplinary matter.
We need to get out of here, now. We have two groups of hostiles, cartel soldiers, possible links to Marabunta Grande, and Duggan personnel. Both highly dangerous. They are hostile to each other and us. We need to evacuate this area and regroup stat.
Okay,
Get her out of there. And remember, local law enforcement are not in the loop for this operation. You're on your own. Just don't count cold.
So I hope we're not, you know, that is such an outrageous thing. It's such an attack.
Oye, retirémonos, move back, vámonos a la mierda, mae, vámonos a la mierda.
this guy, what's Minnesota is saying that...
Hey, did you even pass the agency driving course?
This dude, what if a liberal supporter coming out here basically
what?
that 2024
Damn.
election?
I thought I was dead back there for sure. How the heck did you find me? Recent GPS apps in my car? That was good work. They told me I was heading to a deal. Figured business as usual, no clue they'd made me. I just had time to map it out, and the next thing I know, there's a black bag over my head. I think they were planning to sell me as leverage to the cartel. I don't know what the hell happened. The deal went south, people started dropping left and right. You got there just in time. Shit. So are you new? I don't recognize you. Thank you anyway. Just give me a second to get my shit together, okay?
And that Joe Biden won the election. But in this case, Tim Walz did not tell this woman that no. The election was not stolen. Okay, the election was not tampered with.
So I'm guessing you're on the Duggan arm? Let me tell you, this stuff goes deep. Way deeper than our models predicted. It's got bureau written all over it. I was so close to putting it all together before my cover got blown. Anyway, here's what I can tell you. The Duggans are putting together some kind of next-gen computer software. That's how they're fixing the price of gas. This thing is exploiting backdoors everywhere, including the goddamn Balsac data center. It's manipulating trade prices, supply, demand, shipment delays, rating agencies, public oversight mechanisms, you name it. It's even pushing panic buying using bots on social media. The Duggans already have most of the tech they need, and they're out to buy even more from the FIB's confiscated items. Whatever's going on, we need to move on it fast.
Yeah, that's amazing how that works. It's like they don't care about big places. Then they care about the Bible when it comes to January 6th. So when it comes to the Tesla terrorists, right? Keep out here creating fire against Tesla dealerships, against people driving Tesla. They have nothing to say. They have nothing to say at all. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Democrats failing to live up to their own standards. It doesn't matter what the subject is. Democrats do not live up to the same standards that they set for other people, because Tim Walz should have corrected them. He should have told her, no, the election was not stolen. He won the bottom fair and square, and then we should not be questioning doubt the election. We should not be bringing up theories about it. They wouldn't say it, right? In fact, he wouldn't want to advocate for making our election less secure, because that's a Democrat. And hopefully they will allow it.
We've got a lot of heat. Lose them now. We can't have local law enforcement all over this.
He's a great right? What it do, Democrats, right? This is what they do. This is what they do. But what they're actually concerned about is the fact that having free and fair elections is great to their power and control. Right? That's what they're actually concerned about. Okay? Because Democrats, they will count you here. They'll count 5 years, get count. Hey, 130, with way more local runs of blue state, red state, and they will turn around in 5 years. They're done. They're done for a long time. And if Tim Walz is in charge, again, I just don't see how Democrats can recover this.
Oh, come on.
Double and triple down on everything they lost. That's what he's advocating to do. And for whatever reason, he thinks this is going to work. This is what they should do. I think you're looking to have a vision take it over the Democrat Party, guys.
I feel a little faint. Could you take me to the hospital? Debrief's gonna have to wait.
About the 2024 election being tampered with, right?
Thanks. Again, hopefully my intel fills in some of the blanks. I'm sure you'll get a copy of the mission report.
Good work today. Now, having successfully undertaken fieldwork in temperatures of over 100 degrees, I'm giving you a direct order to take a shower before your next report for duty. But for today, that was some fine work, Agent.
The White House with President
Services who
are you trying to get us killed?
Deserving organizations and individuals Skadden is committed to funding no fewer than 5 Skadden fellows.
Eyes open!
And number 3, and again, we're going to put this out in greater detail with Skadden brings and commits to merit-based hiring, promotion, and retention. Again, that will go on for a little while, and you'll read that. And Skadden will not deny any representation to clients such as its members or members of politically disenfranchised groups. Not historically receive legal representation from major national law firms, etc. So this is going out now, and I'm instructing my people to release it. And this is was announced, so you can you'll get it in. This was essentially a settlement, and you'll be able to read that in great detail. We appreciate Skadden's coming to the table. As you know, other law firms have likewise.